Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Business Mathematics. And for our first week, our topic will be basic operations. For this topic, we will be familiarizing ourselves with the four basic fundamental operations. We will be also understanding the concepts of addition and subtraction and their relationship, as well as understanding the concepts of multiplication and division and their relationship. We will be also solving basic math word problems by identifying keywords indicating mathematical operations. So let's have a brief history of math. So first, what is mathematics? Mathematics is a science that deals with the logic of shape, quantity, and arrangement. Math is basically all around us and in everything that we do. It is the building block for everything in our daily lives, including mobile devices, architecture, art, money, engineering, and even sports. So, since the beginning of recorded history, mathematic discovery has been at the forefront of every civilized society and in use in even the most primitive of cultures. The needs of math arose based on the wants of society. The more complex a society, the more complex the mathematical needs. Primitive tribes needed a little more than ability to count, but also relied on math to calculate the position of the sun and physics of hunting. So if you have calculator at home, you may use it for our reference here at, um, especially when we are solving some problems here at our subject, which is the business mathematics. So let's proceed to our second slide, which is the four basic fundamental operations. For our four basic fundamental operations, we have the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These are the four basic operations in mathematics. And users confronted with different problems in business that require thorough knowledge of these basic operations. With the invention of calculators, a person can solve a mathematical problem with greater speed. So since we have calculators, these calculators are mere instruments in performing the operations by the user on his skill in checking the answers. So we will be using our calculators as well for checking the answers for this for the methods that we are be using in this four fundamental operations. So one of the main objective in any mathematical operation is accuracy, and to accomplish this goal, different methods of checking answers are introduced in the following sections that we will be explaining in the slides. So mastery of at least one of these checking methods would be great practical value to any student. So mathematics has been a great part of our lives and has been widely used through all the days and throughout our lives. Without mathematics, we won't be evolving from counting, measuring, and describing the shapes of objects. So we also have a um, brief information. So when we say mathematician is someone who uses an extensive knowledge of mathematics in their work, typically to solve mathematical problems. So mathematicians are concerned with the numbers, data, quantity, structure, space models, and change. The number one mathematician of the world is Isaac Newton. And what they typically do, mathematicians, is they applied use of theories, techniques such as mathematical modeling, computational methods to formulate and solve practical problems in business, government, engineering, and the physical life and social sciences. So let's proceed to our first basic fundamental operation, which is addition. For addition, addition is the summation of two or more numbers and to one single total. The numbers to be added are called addends, and the number that expresses the total sum, the total is the sum. We have here an example. We have numbers 9 and 2. If we add 9 to 2, the sum would be 11. So in writing in sentence or saying this term, we say it by 9 plus 2 is equals to 11. So basically, addition is the action or process of adding something to something else. It is also calculating the total of two or more numbers or amounts. So addition also refers to the act of adding. More generally, it refers to an increase or boost applied to something. Addition has other senses as a noun. Addition is basically the first basic operation in math, and two or more numbers are united in result in a greater number, which is what we called again the sum. So we have two methods for checking an answer in addition, and these are the following. We have the reverse order adding, and we also have the casting out lines. For reverse order adding, we have to arrange the numbers according to their place values. So before adding it, let's arrange all the numbers according to their place values. We have example number 1. We will be adding 6,253 to 2,498, 1,031, and 2,488. So these are all our addends, and we will be arranging it to all to its place value. As we can see, all of its place values are in thousands. So we have now arranged it, and then upon adding, we will be checking operation is performed from bottom to top. So we will be having here. So we have 3 plus 8 plus 1 plus 8 is equals to 20. So let's go to the next place value, which is in the tens. We have 5 plus 9 plus 3 plus 8 is equals to 25. You may use your calculator as well. And then we have the hundreds place value. 2 plus 4 plus 0 plus 4 is 10. And then the last place value we have is thousands. We have 6212. So 6 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 is equals to 11. So if we are going to arrange the sum that we had, so we will be arranging from its place value and from the number of arrangement that we have from the example. So we have 20 here at ones, and then we will be putting 25 in our tens, and then 10 in our hundreds, and 11 in our thousands. And the sum would be, so let's add this 0. 2 plus 5 is equals to 7. 2 is equals to 2. 1 plus 1 is equals to 2 and 1. So we bring this one, and we have the sum of 12,270. You may check your calculators, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me in my personal messenger in Facebook, or also you may also comment your question in our group chat in Facebook Messenger. So another method that we had is casting out lines. And this particular method is rarely applied in business practice, so more so when calculators are used. This method is simply done by eliminating or subtracting 9, as many nines there are from the total of digits of a number. So in the number, so as many as 9. So for example, if you have 18, so it's 9 plus 9 is equals to 18. So there are two nines in that number, 18. Okay. So let's go to our second fundamental operation, which is subtraction. So subtraction is the process of determining the numbers, the difference between two numbers. So we have minus indicates subtraction, and the numbers to be subtracted is called subtrahend, and the number from which we subtract is called the minuend. The result is what we call remainder or difference. So we have here an example. We have 9 and 7. So when we subtract 9 and 7, the answer is 2. But how do we say it in mathematical terms? So we have 9, which is the minuend. We have minus, which is the subtraction sign, and 7, which is the subtrahend. So we have 9 minus 7 is equals to 2. So 2 is the difference. So basically, subtraction is the process of taking away a number from another. It is a primary arithmetic operation that is denoted by a subtraction symbol, as what I said, and it is the method of calculating the difference between two numbers. So we have two methods on checking that can be used on checking answers in subtractions. We have adding the difference to the subtrahend and also casting out nines. So for adding the difference, we have here, okay, it is the basic and effective method, and upon adding the difference to subtrahend, you should add the difference to the subtrahend. The sum should be equal to the minuend as well. So there is an addition used in this method as well. So it's not just subtraction, but there is also addition involved. So we have here example number 5. We will be subtracting 1,541 from 3,489. If we use our calculators, it will be so easy, and we will have a difference of 1,948. So in mathematical terms, here is our minuend, 3,489, and our subtrahend, which is 1,541. So this is our minus sign, minus, and the answer is 1,948, which is our difference. So upon checking, we will be adding the subtrahend and the difference, and it should be equals to minuend. Okay, so we have here the subtrahend, which is 1,541, and the difference is 1,948. If we would use our calculators, the sum would be 3,498, which is the missing minuend that we need upon checking. So for casting out nines, again, casting out nines is used by simply done by eliminating or subtracting 9, or as many nines there are from the total of the digits of number. So let's do this. So we will be subtracting again 1,541 from 3,489. So for this one, we will be adding all the digits. So 3 plus 4 plus 8 plus 9 is equals to 24. And we will add 1,541. 1 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1 is equals to 11. So we will be using the casting out nines method. So 24. In 24, how many nines that we had? Only 2. And 9 plus 9 is equals to 18. So 18 is our casting out 9 number. So we have 24 less 18 is equals to 6. So we have here another answer from 1,541, which is 11. Now, 11 less 9, or subtract 9 from 11, we will have the remainder of, or the difference of 2. So if we subtract 6 minus 2, our difference would be 4. So upon checking, remember we had this difference, 1,941. We'll just be adding those digits again. 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 8 is equals to 22. So how many 9s we have in 22? We have 2 again. So 9 plus 9 is equals to 18. So 22 plus 18 is equals to 4. So we have a same difference in the casting out nines method. You may use your calculator as well to check if we have the correct difference. Another fundamental operation that we have is multiplication. So for multiplication is the shortcut way to add. If we are to add a several number for several times, simply multiply the number by the number of times it is to be added. So we have here an example. So before going to our example, we have to know the parts of multiplication. We have here the multiplicand. It indicates how many times the multiplicand would be added if the product was to be found by addition. So this is our multiplier. It indicates how many times the multiplicand would be added if the product was found by addition. So 15 times, or 15 to be multiplied by 2 is equals to 30. You may use your calculator for reference. So basically it is 15 plus 15, or if you add 15 and 15 together, you will get the product of, or the sum of 30. So let's go to this example. We have 12 and 4. So 12 times 4 is 48. So, and 12 plus 4 is 48 as well. And 12 plus 4 is 48. 12 and 4 is 48. So as you can see in these 4 examples, these are the symbols used to indicate multiplication. We have here the X sign, brackets, parentheses, and the decimal point. And in this example, 12 times 4 can be expressed as the following, or 12 can be multiplied in 4 times. So these are the multiplication symbols. So if you see these symbols, these are some of the multiplication terms that we have. So in multiplying, we have we can also visualize counting objects arranged in whole numbers, or finding the area of a typical shape whose sides have some given lengths. And in multiplying, we could also define other types of numbers, such as complex numbers, and more abstract constructs. And we have some notation, terminology, products of measurements, and properties of multiplication. But first, we will be discussing the 4 methods for checking the answer in multiplication. We have the interchanging multiplicand to multiplier, dividing the product by one of the factors, approximation, and casting out nines. So for interchanging the multiplicand and multiplier, basically we just interchange it or switch it. So for example, we have the 9 as a multiplicand and 2 as a multiplier. So we just switch it. So the 2 will be the multiplicand and the multiplier will be the And the 9, which is our multiplicand, will be our multiplier. So we also have dividing the product by one of the factors. So the product divided by one of the factors should be equal to the other factor. And we will be explaining it. We also have approximation, and it is another method of checking the product by estimating the product after the factors has been rounded off to simple numbers. And also the casting out 9 methods, which was been used in addition and subtraction as well. So we have here, as what I've said earlier, interchanging multiplicand to multiplier. So you will just be switching the multiplicand and multiplier for you to check the product. You may use your calculator as well, but basically, given in the example, you just see that we just switch 546 here and 42 here for checking. Okay. So for dividing the product by one of the factors, we have here an example. We will be using example 6 that we had earlier, which is 546 and 42. Remember, when we've been using the first method, which was the interchanging multiplicand to multiplier, we just switch these two numbers and we still get the same product. But for this one, for the dividing the product by one of the factors. So we have here 546 multiplicand factor, 42, which is our multiplier factor, and the product is 22,932. So if we are going to divide 42 divided by 22,932, or 22,932 divided by 42, I mean, we will get the factor or the quotient 546. So kindly refer to your handouts. You will see the example, and we have a remainder of 0 as well. So you may use your calculator. Just type 22,932 divided by 42, and the factor or the quotient that we will be having is 546. So another method that we have is approximation. So it is simply done by checking the product, by estimating the product after the factors has been rounded off to simple numbers. So we will be using the example number 6 that we have, which is the number 546 and 42 as well, as the multiplicand and multiplier, and this is our product, 22,932. So let's round off 542 to our smaller value, which is 500, and 40 is equals to 20,000. The product 20,000 can be mentally determined and used as a guide in checking the answer. Since the product of 540 is 20,000, the answer 22,932 may be considered reasonable. The actual product is considered reasonable if the approximated product is slightly lower when the factors were rounded off to a smaller value, and should be higher when rounded off to a higher value. So we have another example. Let's use 856 and 46. 856 is our multiplicand and 46 is our multiplier. So if I multiply it, 856 times 46, we will be having 39,376. So let's round off 856. Since our next digit is greater than 5, we will be rounding off 8 into 9. So 900, and then 46, 6 is greater than 5. So 4 becomes 5. So 900 times 50. We have 45,000. 900 times 50 is 45,000. So as you can see, 39,376 is our product in the example. And then when we check, we have 45,000. So 39,376 is greater than 45,000. So if the actual product greatly differs from the approximated product, it would be considered as reasonable. Another one is casting outlines as well. So again, like in addition and subtraction, this method is simply done by eliminating or subtracting 9 or as many nines there are from the total of digits of number. So this method is recommended when the factors are large numbers. So it is relatively simple and can save a considerable amount of time when compared with other three methods. So we'll be using the example number 9 again. 856 is our multiplicand and 46 is our multiplier. And the product that we had is 39,376. So let's add all the digits. 8 plus 5 plus 6 is 19. 4 plus 6 is equals to 10. 3 plus 9 plus 3 plus 7 plus 6 is equals to 28. So we have 19. So less 18 is 1. 10 less 9 is 1. So 28 less 27 is 1. 1 times 1 is equals to 1. The product that we had, or the difference that we had upon subtracting all this, is 1. Our last fundamental operation is division. So the process of division is finding an unknown factor in multiplication when one factor and the product are known. In division, the number to be divided is the dividend, and the number by which the dividend is divided is called the divisor. The result is called quotient. So we have here examples of how to divide number. Basically, when we write this in mathematical form, we have here the dividend, the symbol, the division symbol, the divisor, and the quotient, the equal sign. So 8 divided by 2, which is our divisor, is equals to 4. This is our quotient. If we write this in another term, so this is the basic term for division. We have the divisor 8 and the dividend. We have another example. So let's use 105. 8 is our divisor. So when we write it, it's like this: 105 divided by 8. So let's use this. 8, we have 13, and then 8, 25 plus 24 is 1. So we have here 13 is our quotient and our remainder is 1. So at an elementary level, the division of two natural numbers is among other possible interpretations. So these are the process of calculating the numbers of times one number is contained within another. This number of times is not always an integer. So integer is a number that can be obtained using the other arithmetic operations on the natural numbers. So we have here, so basically, division is a method of distributing a group of things into equal parts. So it gives a fair result of sharing. The main goal of the division is to see how many equal groups or how many in each group when sharing fairly. So we have here, for example, we have 8 groups. I mean, 8 groups, and we have, for example, we have 2 groups and 8 balls. So let's use ball and group as an example. So 2 is our group as a divisor and balls is the dividend. We have 8 balls. So how many balls should we distribute into a group? So the answer is 4. So there are 4 balls in each group. So there are 4 balls in the first group and there are 4 balls in the second group. So for division, we have 2 methods of checking the answer. We have the multiplication and casting out lines again. So for multiplication, we should determine the product of the divisor and the quotient and then add the remainder if there is any. The result must be equal to the dividend. So you may refer to your handouts because what we have here is not clearly stated, but please be patient with me. So we have here 4,864 and 16. So we will be dividing 4,864 by 16. How many 16s are there in 4,864? So when we divide it, 16 is our divisor and 486 4,864 is our dividend. When we divide this, you may use your calculator. You may see that our quotient is 304 and we don't have any remainder, meaning there are 304 16s in 4,864. So to check, we will be multiplying the quotient to our divisor. So 304 multiplied 16 times is equals to 4,864. So that is one of our example. You may also refer to the example number 12. Let's try to solve this. We will be dividing 4,373 by 35. So let's check how many 35s we have in 4,373. 35 is our divisor and our dividend is 4,373. If we check in our calculator, we will be having 124. But if we will be using our um, mathematical term of division, there will be a remainder, which is 33. So upon checking, we will be multiplying the divisor into the quotient. So when we multiply it, we have 34 times 124, and the results would be 4,340. It is not yet the partial product because we need to find this dividend, which is 4,373. So how we'll be able to get 4,373 as our dividend? So basically, we just need to add our remainder to our partial product. So we have here 4,340 plus 33 is equals to 4,373. So now we have our dividend. So these are our 4 fundamental basic operations in mathematics. You may check your handouts for our references. We have business mathematics, K to 12, BEC, ABM strength. We also have some suggested readings if you want more examples. We have the institutional module Business Mathematics. And you may also search some videos in YouTube. I will be suggesting some videos that you can check, and I will be posting it to our group chat as well. If you have any questions, you don't hesitate to ask me, and you may directly send me a personal message through Facebook Messenger. So for our activity, I will in your handouts, you could see that we have letters A to E, and for A to E, I will just be requiring you to answers only number one of each letter. So for example, for letter A, just answer number one. For letter B, just answer number one. For letter C, we have two methods. You may choose from which method that you want and just answer number one. So for example, you're much more comfortable to the method letter A for letter C, so you may use it for answering number one. And for letter D, choose another method or only one method and answer number one. And then for letter E, only number one. And so you may submit the requirements after you're done. And if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask me, and I will give you a feedback of your activity as well for areas of improvement and if you have any struggles upon answering the activity. So this ends our week one topic. Thank you so much. And before ending, I would just like to share a Bible verse from the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 23. So said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. So there is nothing impossible to God. And if you have faith and if you believe, you can do it and it is not impossible. So thank you so much once again and see you in our group chat.